didn't hurt that. Can't hurt this guy.
Was Scott a little more relaxed press conference when you don't have to play this weekend?
No. I'd say relaxed. I mean, obviously disappointed, but proud of our team and how we played. And some things you can't control, as we saw, but it's unfortunate. But, we came up a little short.
The game against Minnesota's got to be one for the archives.
Well, it's always fun. There's no question. I don't think a lot of people gave us hope to win that game, certainly after we beat them 3 times in the way we were playing and us getting beat in the first round. But I knew it was a good matchup for our team, and we started a little slow, but I thought it was, the second period especially was probably the best period we've played in a long time as far as the way we wanted to play. And it always helps when you're up 3-0 too, but it was nice to end their year and get a chance to move on.
Will beating them 4 out of 5 times this year be something you remember about this season?
Well, I think obviously, I remember them playing them 5 times, I know that, but one of the things, I mean, that's a big thing. It's not the biggest thing. I mean, obviously, I remember more the disappointment of losing a game that, some other factors came into play, and, our kid's not advancing to play in Boston. But I think for a lot of people it is a highlight. But again, when we play Minnesota, we played them well, and when we play them, I expect to go in there and play well against them and win games. So for me, it was great, and what I'll remember is, more importantly, we beat them at the right time, to keep playing and have a chance to keep moving on.
One of the legacies of these seniors is that when they started, maybe you didn't feel that way up here, but down there, it was an upset if you beat Minnesota. And when they leave here, now it's an upset if Minnesota beats you.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think we've had some good games. We've had success over the last little while against them. We've lost some games too, but this year, whatever reason, we started in November, and I think that had an effect on their year too. In the next little bit, they got it going at the end. I think it obviously gave us a little springboard through our first half of the year as well. And the fourth time we played them, I think neither team really wanted to play the game. Both teams were going the wrong way, and we survived that game. But like I said, the most important thing is we won the game at the right time of the year. That meant the most, because it meant it kept your season going.
Look ahead to the Frozen Four. Do you have a favorite?
I like our 2 teams that play. I think it'll be a great tournament. A lot of tremendous goalies there. Goal scoring might be at a premium, but I like the way our teams have played in North Dakota and Omaha. I think they have a great chance to play each other in the final. After that,
That's a very diplomatic way of doing it.
There's so many teams from the conference making the national tournament. Your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously very, very tough and very strong conference.
well, it was awesome. I mean, when you get 75% of the field coming from your league, I think it tells you about our league. We talked about it being a strong league. Obviously, this year the difference was we did well outside of our conference. And, the first year of the league, we didn't do as well, and we only got 3 teams. And that's a big factor in it, because within our league, we beat each other up pretty good. And you see the number of losses that the teams had that were in the tournament, and that's mostly due to just our league, beating up on each other. So it was great. It's nice to see, too. We had an opportunity with the way the regionals shook out to have 4, which would have been really special, but it's nice to see 2 teams in there, and 2 teams that certainly have a great chance to win the championship.
When the season started, you talked about goaltending would be a question mark until it proved itself. It's fair to say that question's been answered?
Yeah, we gave both of them an opportunity in the beginning. They were splitting games, and we decided to let Kaz run with it, and he did a great job. And I thought one game that nobody talks about was the game Matt won against Minnesota in January, which was a tough spot. He hadn't played, too much and certainly since the exhibition games, and he went in there and did a good job and got it, and really backstepped us to a big win, especially the way he played in the third period. So, but there's no question Kaz was solid. I think he saw his play all through the year and even the regional. So I like our starting point there going into next year with him and Matt as a senior, and we've got an incoming freshman coming in too. So, but it's a great place to start, and hopefully he can build off the year he had.
As long as this program has Kaz in goal, do you see this team being a contender because of what he brings to the ice?
Well, I think
And
we
just
got.
how much he
I think we
solidifies
got a
that
lot of
position.
good parts. I mean, I think we were a young team again too, and you know, you saw how some of our sophomores played, our juniors played, and you know, obviously we're going to miss. You always miss seniors. You miss their leadership, you miss their experience, you miss what they bring, the roles that they can play. But you know, again, any team, it starts back there. If you have a goaltender that can win games for you, that can make timely saves and not give up a lot of easy goals, and it builds confidence in your team. And I think you saw that through the year. But I like our team. I think our team might be even better next year. And it starts with having maybe that position solidified a little bit more. Really missed 5 games, but I thought last weekend he started to get back to playing the way he played in the first half. You know, obviously he didn't score, but you know, he needs to play that kind of gritty, hard-nosed game. And you know, it's tough to miss games through the year and jump right back in, especially later in the year when the intensity level and everything's ramped up. But I thought he kind of got back to that, and hopefully next year he can kind of have another solid year and be a little more consistent, probably from the goal scoring standpoint, which is what he wants too.
Tony, the second half that he put together here, that's to be really encouraging.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. I thought, you know, we'll bounce back after his sophomore year, but I thought in the second half, I thought him and his line especially were outstanding for us. I thought and again, they were the one line that stayed together, you know, through pretty much most of the year, and especially when we had the injury, so there was a lot of chemistry there, but they really played well off each other. But he did play a strong second half for us, and I think that showed at the end of the year too with how he finished in points.
You like how the offense was maybe, last year you had a lot more double-digit goal scorers, but this year it seemed like more guys got involved in the offense, and the offense is a little more spread out. You like that way a little more than having, you know, just a core group of goal scorers? Or?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think we talked about that at the beginning. We knew we had good depth up at forward, and you know, we talked about adding a little more offense from our back end, which we did. You know, when you go from 5 to 24 goals, that's improvement on the back end. But I think once we kind of got some lines settled, I think you started to see the balance of our team. And then there were some nights where, you know, 1 through 4, they didn't look a lot different. Everyone contributed. Some guys, you know, when one line didn't, this line did, and I think that's how you win. You know, the unfortunate thing when you get to the tournament is with the TV timeouts and all that stuff, it's hard. I mean, you don't see a lot of teams being able to play 4 lines, and there's a lot of teams in our league that play 4, and you have to because it's a hard league, and you need to get those guys involved. But I like our balance. Certainly, it probably isn't going to be any different next year, which is good. So I think you win with depth, and we're going to try and do the same thing next year.
Do you have any concerns about any underclassmen signing?
You always have concerns, but I haven't heard anything right now. So, I mean, those things can happen quick. They can happen over time. Just kind of take it day by day. But, you know, we did have Justin Crandall go to the East Coast League. He's going to play in Reading tonight. And Derek Johnson's going to leave tomorrow morning for Missouri. And Krause is still working on some possibilities. So, those guys are playing.
You like to see those seniors go, because some of the underclassmen, your defense, kind of a no-name defense all year, but they really acquitted themselves so well out there in those 2 games. I thought there might be some people, vultures, sweeping out of the sky to pick them off.
No, I mean, you have good players. You always worry about keeping them. I mean, I hope that we can. if we can't, obviously we want them to continue on and do well, but right now I haven't heard anything that says they're not coming back.
Minus Walensky coming back as a captain, who else do you see as potential captains for next season? Where do you see that leadership kind of coming from?
We've got a lot of guys that could fit that mold. I mean, there's certainly guys through, the junior and sophomore class that, we'll kind of let that evolve here. We'll have the players vote, and but I think there's a lot of guys, that could be potential leaders on our team, and then even if they're not we're allowed, I still think they have that potential to be, leaders without the line.
You're looking to bring 4 or 5 guys in this offseason, recruits.
Well, we've got 4 for sure. I mean, we've got the 2 forwards with Pionk and McKay, and then we've got Johnson and McKay and Pionk and Deary, the goaltender. So there's a possibility we could add one more. We've got a couple guys committed that we could add to if we need to, but that's all we have right now.
Johnson and Pionk, do you see them possibly having next season? They're both having really good years in the USHL.
I see them playing in and having an immediate impact, both of them, on our team. They both have played 2 years in that league. They both have excelled in that league. I think Neil right now is considered by a lot to be one of the top defensemen in the league. Adam's had 2 really good offensive years. Can play a lot of different positions. He's played center. He's played wing. He can play the point on the power play. So he brings some offense. There's no question. And when you look at Pionk, he brings that competitiveness, that grit, and I think he's really matured this year, being a leader and playing in more situations as a second-year player.
This is going to be a tough lineup for a freshman to crack because of all the experience so many guys got this season.
I hope so. I hope it is. I think it was for our guys early in the year too. And then when we started getting some injuries and departures, and you know what, it's too bad some of these guys weren't healthy, because they would have been valuable to us down the stretch. But I hope it's that way. We want to keep it that way. We want guys to compete, and it's no different if you're a freshman or a senior. You got to compete.
It's kind of gotten to be a measurement of your program too, Scott, that I think the pros watch your players and they realize how much they're improving. So they don't mind leaving them here rather than taking them for a minor league thing because they're worried they won't improve, because your guys have consistently moved up every year of their play here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun to have those guys stay. And I mean, obviously you want no matter who it is, you want them to have the opportunity to jump in and play at the highest level. But you do your best to try and prepare them. We've had good kids too that have been pretty self-motivated, so that's been obviously a plus too. And but you just try and create that environment for them, and obviously try and push them and help them. I mean, we're going to teach them certain things. When they move on to the next level, they're going to learn more. And our game's different than the pro game. I mean, it's people tend to forget that. I've said that a lot. We want to pay guys to travel. You're not going to travel when you go to the next level. Get paid to do that. I mean, our game's up and down the rink, and you know what? That's how we play, and I think our kids do a great job with that. And I think more importantly, as long as they understand, why they'd stay or why they want to go, those are things that sometimes are hard to figure out, especially when you're a younger player.
You mentioned the opportunities that both Crandall and Johnson are going to be having coming up here. Just kind of talk about what that means to this program, how you see them thriving at the next level.
Well, anytime you get a chance to continue to play the game, and now you get paid a little bit of money to do it. It's fun. I mean, I think they're both going on ATO contracts, so I think it's kind of one of those short-term things to see how it goes. They're playing hockey. It's another level, and East Coast League is a good level. There's a lot of college guys there, and it's hard. It's hard to continue to jump right into the American League or jump right into the National Hockey League. Those guys are going to have to work a little bit, but they're going to continue to play, and they're going to have opportunities if they do well to keep moving up the ladder. So we're excited for them. Anytime your players can move on and continue playing, it's great. And they were excited about the opportunity, especially since they just finished playing. I think they're kind of want to keep going. So, like I said, Derek leaves tomorrow, and I think he's playing Friday, and Cranny's playing tonight. So, you kind of follow that if you want. But it's good for them, and look forward to kind of keeping track of how they're doing.
Justin, say anything about probably getting a chance to play against Aaron since he's going out to that division?
Yeah, I don't know. There was some talk that might even be ended up on that team. There was some interest there too, but that'll be interesting if they can play against. I don't know the schedule, so whether they end up playing against each other or not. But I know Reading's in the playoffs, so we'll kind of see what happens with Granite.
Hey Scott, you've coached 15 teams here now. What sticks out most about this year's club? You have to look back. What are you going to remember about this year's team?
Well, it reminds me a lot of some of the other teams, the good teams we've had here. I think they really were a team. I think we didn't have maybe the superstars that other teams do, but it didn't matter. I thought we had a lot of guys who were unselfish. I thought we had a lot of pieces of the puzzle that we could win with. Some of those had to emerge through the year, but I've been lucky. I've had a lot of great teams here, and it's not even about winning. We've had some great kids, and this group was a pretty. They were pretty special. They kind of felt that amongst themselves, and unfortunately they almost got to where they wanted to go, and that's the part that's hard for a coach when you see that. But it was a fun group to work with. They worked hard. They cared about each other, and you know what? Like I said, some things you can't control, and I kind of feel like that last game kind of got taken out of our hands a little bit, and I think I don't like that because I think it cheats the kids a little bit, and they're the ones that people come to watch. You just want them to play and decide a game. So that's the unfortunate thing. That's the thing that probably stings the most, and whether it sounds like whining, I don't really care, because the bottom line is for four of those guys, they can't play again, and for the return guys, they can get another chance, and hopefully they can learn how hard it is. It's all right. I went off a little.
It's all right.
The deep end a little bit.
What's the non-conference schedule look like for next year? Minus
Let's see.
Gophers and Northern Michigan.
We will play Lakehead again on a Sunday night on the opening weekend. We will play a home and home with Bemidji. We will play a home and home with Minnesota consecutive weekends. We will go to Notre Dame, and we have UMass Lowell all in the first month. And then we will finish our non-conference with a trip to Northern to return their home trip, and an exhibition game with the U.S. team after Christmas break. So we'll have that. So a good mixture again.
You made up your lines yet?
If everyone comes back, it won't be too hard.